And Coulter live on The View yesterday, courtesy of ABC, talking about her experience at Berkeley, and the name of Milo Yiannopoulos came up. And with that said, we start hour 2 of the Bernie and Sid show with the aforementioned Milo Yiannopoulos live in studio.
He has returned.
Bernie and Sid, alive and well. It looks great.
Thank you. Of course I look great.
Yes.
I have to give you an apology. I was on time today. I think for the first time ever.
Yes.
Doing maybe not just the first time this show, but the first time ever. I'm such a bad diva. I'm such a failure as a diva. I was like in the reception, ready, and 5 minutes to go.
You let us down. We weren't ready.
Normally I'm texting your producer.
I'm
texting. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's traffic. It's New York. I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. My assistant left me for someone else.
But you do look great, and you're back in studio. I know you say that, but after what you went through a couple of months ago, the whole controversy, the whole issue, you've come back bigger, stronger, better looking than ever.
Fabulous.
I do wake up and I look in the mirror and I think you are more handsome than yesterday. No, honestly, I mean, you must have the same thing. Honestly, it's just, my dad was like this. My dad got progressively better looking right up until he was like 55, and so did his dad, and so did his brothers.
I turned 50 last Wednesday.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
No, you would have 5 years left if you were in my family, but you're not in my family. So you have minus 5 years. I'm just kidding. So I refer to him as my boyfriend when I'm not in New York. I miss you. This is my favorite show to do when I'm here.
Thank you.
He wants to go shopping with you after the show.
Oh, because every time I come here, he's in these gay skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wants you to pick out some
You're looking a bit less faggy today. You butched it up for me.
I did a little bit. I did. And usually, not only am I dressed like this, but usually after the show, you're making some escapade to Fifth Avenue, some fine shopping place, but not today. Not today.
Well, I've done it actually. I did. No. We did Dior. We did Gucci. We did everything.
Nice.
We did everything.
I like the pearl bracelet.
Well, thank you. No, I just got $1 million signing bonus. What the hell am I supposed to do with it except go to Fifth Avenue? I mean, I don't know. What am I going to do? Invest?
Did you really get
pensions?
$1 million
Buy a car? Give me a break.
Did you really get $1 million signing bonus?
Yes, I did.
Come on.
For what and from who?
Yeah.
Well, we just signed a deal. I've raised $12 million to start Milo Inc, which is my new corporatized trolling vehicle. I'm just kidding. No,
you're not.
That's what they're calling it.
In a way, that's what Vanity Fair called it, I think.
Yeah.
No, we're going to do books. We're going to do tours. I'm going to start incubating other conservative speakers. Basically, I'm creating a vehicle. Incubate like a lab. We're going to grow. Imagine, if you will, entering into the subterranean basement of an abandoned cocaine mansion in Miami.
Right.
And it takes you down in an elevator, and the airlock opens, and there are 15,000 Milos growing in tubes. That's fantastic. So 12 million won't get us there, but it's a start. Anyway, so
congratulations on that.
Well, thank you.
It's a big deal.
It is thank you. No, thank you. So, so I got a nice bonus, which is nice. Evidence to those out there who are being disheartened by what's happening at Fox and to, Tommy Lahren and me and all the rest of it. This is just revenge for Trump. They're coming for a few of us. They're scoring a couple of hits, but we are all coming back stronger, better, and bigger than ever before. And I'm of course the first one to come back, and I'm coming back 10 times bigger than I was before.
Okay, so you back living in LA, or are you still in England?
So I have a house in Miami. I still live in England technically, but I have a house in Miami, and I'm going to be working all over the United States, all over Europe. We're going to be touring. I'm going to do like a 7-month tour. It's going to be called Troll Academy. I'm going to teach people how to do what I do so that I can retire and go home.
Sure.
Because I've had enough. I'm good.
Where were you in Miami? Down by the beach or down by Brickell? You're down by...
like Brickell. So the nice bit of town. Yeah, really nice.
Drudge lives in Miami, right?
I think he does, yes.
Yeah, but
Versace used to live there too, but he walked outside his house and he got shot.
Yeah.
I'm counting the days. Do you know how many disgruntled ex-lovers I have?
I'm sure.
No, I just people I've cut off who have access to guns and an axe to grind. I'm going to be dead any day, which is wrong. I'm serious. They're taking out $50 million key man life insurance from me. I'm not making this up. I just got an email from my CEO this morning. $50 million if somebody assassinates me. I'm like, I'll just assassinate myself. I'll take the $50 million. I mean, if there was ever an incentive to fake your own death,
this is it.
My goodness.
Well, yes.
My goodness.
But look, in this climate out there, it's not so off the wall. I mean, the way some people are behaving and reacting to, say, even you, and trying to shut down free speech, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm just some sassy gay guy with conservative opinions who cracks fat jokes. And this apparently is too much for Simon & Schuster to publish, too much for university college campuses to countenance. Ludicrous. And this has got to stop.
And what happens is when you have an instance like you had, okay, and Bernard's been through this around the guy we work with in the morning and others. But when things go on, people run away from you. They run away. Whether it's a book deal, even friends, even people you thought would be there till the very, very end.
It's true.
Was that the case with you? Or did most people stick around and try to help you?
I have to be honest with you. People were wonderful. And I think people were wonderful because, look, just for viewers who don't know, I was spitballing late night, early morning. You do these live streams on the internet. You're talking for 4.5 hours with a drink in your hand, and you're kind of things tumble out of your mouth half formed, And I couldn't do the job that you guys do, speaking for hours and hours and hours every day. I get myself into so much trouble. So, you start to relax.
Sure, of course.
You're two or three gin and tonics in, and you just start chatting like you would if you were at home, just kind of throwing ideas out there you hadn't even really thought about, you thought through. And I was talking about how, and this is true, and I'm sorry that if you don't, if people don't like this, and it seems like some of the establishment conservatives who came for me didn't like this very much, but I was saying, and this is a reality, and every gay guy knows this, that very often in the gay world, your first relationship is going to be with a fairly significantly older guy.
Okay.
And you have a relationship. He kind of if you're at home and you're worried about telling your parents, or your parents are awful about it, quite often you can find that sort of it's just somebody who sort of lets you know it's okay to be you, and kind of is a loving guiding hand into, it sort of helps you to come to terms with yourself,
Sure.
And it's a very common thing. And that's what I was talking about. The way I phrased it was awful. It made it sound like I was promoting men sleeping.
Right, we get it.
Yeah, and I wasn't, and so the only thing I've ever apologized for in my entire life, that wasn't court ordered, was that because I misspoke. Anyway,
right. And we did defend you, by the way.
I know, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And it was silly, and I should have watched my words a bit more closely. But because I think everybody realized that I didn't mean what they said, that they were presenting it as. Everybody was pretty great, and,
cool.
and my friends were giving me calls. They were just saying, "Go away, go away for 2 months, sort out your next moves, and we'll be here for you when you get back." And the fans were amazing. My Facebook page just tens of thousands of people saying, all right.
Yeah. Oh, your Facebook page, by the way, is fantastic.
Oh, you like it?
Yes,
they do such a good job, don't they?
It is.
No, it's wonderful. I actually go there for my own news. I do. I'll go there to post something that I'm thinking about in the morning, and overnight the boys have come up with this amazing video about something I didn't know about, and I'm like, oh my god, this is wonderful.
So
I go to Breitbart, and I go to Drudge, and I go to my Facebook page, and then I think I know everything I need to know that day.
Yeah. I've reposted a lot of your stuff there. But so you're no longer with Breitbart, but you don't harbor any ill feelings. So it's
no. It was a very amicable. I was just Breitbart is constantly on the defensive like Trump, and I just figured that it was it would be kinder to my colleagues if I just went quiet for a little bit.
Right.
But they still report on me. We're still friends. They're going to.
Everybody's still talking about you. Look, they were talking about you on The View
just yesterday
with Ann Coulter. We just played.
I don't have any worries about people talking about me. I know they always will. But no, I mean,
but even you a lot of confidence, and deservedly so, and brilliant, and you knew you'd be okay.
I struggle with shyness.
I don't, but
I struggle with shyness.
But if you're going to be 1,000% honest with me,
yes,
1,000% with us,
yes,
the day after all that went down, even you had to be a little shaken, a little.
I think so, but just for 24 hours. And you know what it is? It's when you feel like the walls are coming in,
right,
and your life is collapsing. But what happened was, people reached, people I love reached out to me, people I don't know reached out to me. Thousands. Right. I mean, honestly, my email.
I was getting texts for you, Asher and Omani, and all these famous people. Like, could you reach out to Milo for me? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And that was just, I couldn't even read them all. I have really close friends whose texts and emails I haven't even got to yet.
Wow.
And I'm just kind of working my way around. I spend 4 hours a day apologizing to people for not responding to their beautiful, heartfelt letters and stuff 2 months ago because I've been busy raising this money. And no, it was, and I think that
you were riding high at that particular time. You had a book deal. I mean, you were running. You had just been on Bill Maher, who, by the way,
when they come for you,
he's taking credit. Bill Maher is taking credit for your downfall.
No. I think this is unfair. I think Bill Maher got quoted unfairly because he said to the New York Times, I think he was speaking rhetorically. I think he was saying, you know, you guys are all criticizing me for having Milo on, you know, and there was that journalist who was going to be on the show with me who quit and said, I won't appear with Milo. Idiot. Idiot. You don't show up, you lose. Simple. Right. You know, and Bill Maher is like, well, you know, he came, imploded, you're welcome. I mean, if you're a liberal and that's what you were complaining about me for having him on.
But you don't think he's taking any glee in that?
No. So the New York Times reported it as Bill Maher says you're welcome. You know?
Gotcha.
And I don't think that was really fair. And he got it. You know, he got it much worse than me afterwards because video surfaced of him in the 90s, like explicitly, clearly saying the only thing wrong with this older female teacher and younger male relationship is that there wasn't a movie of it. You know, like the only problem he had with it is that it wasn't on film. Way worse than anything I said.
Right.
And he really got it in the neck for 3 days for that. So I don't think he ever intended that. So I know I'm not cross with him.
He is one of the few who on the left who speaks in real terms about the Muslim, quote unquote Muslim problem, and also
Islam, free speech. He's very sound on these things. I mean, he's still an idiot on the subject of Donald Trump, but
completely.
But you know, I mean, he's. I do think that we're setting the bar very low, given Bill Maher's actual opinions on things. When we're kind of like celebrating him as one of the good liberals, but you can't deny on Islam and on free speech, he's rock solid, and that's the two things we.
And how about these people who did shut you down at Berkeley, and they shut Ann down? They call themselves Antifa, which is anti-fascist, and which is like
the people who burn books while calling the authors fascists.
It would be like amazing. A DUI. It'd be like a DUI defendant wearing a Mothers Against Drunk Drivers T-shirt. I mean, who the hell do they think they're fooling? I mean, they know they're the fascists, and to preempt that criticism, they call themselves anti-fascists.
This is a constant sort of twisting of language that the left does, you know. Well, they are in for a surprise because, you know, having shut down me and shut down Ann Coulter, this will no longer be allowed to stand. I am not, and this is, you know, they're not my enemy. They are just well-paid, like, you know,
who's paying
morons.
Who's paying? Who's behind all this, Milo?
Well,
is it Soros? Can you prove that?
I've seen reports about that. I'm not going to tell you that because I haven't looked into it myself, and I don't want to tell you something I don't know for sure is true. But I would suspect so, yes. And you know, they're not really my enemy because they're just well-paid morons. You know, these are people who are very low, you know, very impressionable people who are paid to cause trouble.
Who's your real enemy then?
It's the universities.
The
universities themselves who are complicit in this stuff. You know, that by standing back, by telling the police not to intervene, they basically create this space for mayhem.
Right.
To scare conservative speakers away so they don't have to deal with them at all.
Right.
So, with that in mind.
What about the public officials in those towns where the universities are?
The mayor of Berkeley has connections to this Antifa group, you know, and obviously he's a moron, but he's elected by a city of morons. Right. I mean, Berkeley is, you know, Berkeley has got to have, well, whatever.
But can't Daddy Trump do something about this guy?
Well, I think he should defund the entire University of California system, sure, until they can demonstrate that they're prepared to see through on their First Amendment commitments.
Didn't he threaten to do that too? After the first time Milo was there?
Yes, there was talk.
Yes.
Talk.
So what I want to do in advance of that, I want to provide him with, you know, the real. I want to provide him with an excuse to do so.
Right.
What I want to do is go back in fall when all the new college students are coming in at the beginning of their first year and stage a free speech week.
Oh, beautiful.
So we're going to dedicate. It's going to be like we're going to be peace rallies for free speech. You know, this face of just me looking beautiful. I'm going to give. I mean, I'm starting an award, the Mario Savio Award for Free Speech. Mario Savio, you'll remember, was one of the founders of the free speech movement in Berkeley in the 60s. His son, Danny, is a fascist. Okay. His son, Danny, is like, oh, well, you know, this is so amazing. This is so amazing. Mario Savio, the founder of the free speech movement, his son basically shat on his dad's legacy because he hates me so much. The son of Mario Savio, like, renounced free speech because he hates me so much. He said, well, my dad was all for free speech, but you know, there must be limits, and you can't abuse, like, marginalize, blah blah blah, all this social justice garbage, you know. And it's like, oh, okay, so Danny Savio, you're just a fascist.
That's it.
We're talking with Milo Yiannopoulos, the world famous, the fabulous Milo Yiannopoulos on the Bernie and Sid show. Now, speaking of fascists, and this guy at Berkeley, what's his name? Danny Savio.
It's the son of Mario Savio. So we're going to start the Mario Savio Free Speech Award. We're going to name it after his dad, and I'm giving it to Ann Coulter.
But
I'm giving the first award to Ann Coulter.
How about that?
Because she's,
she'll be very honored.
I'm sure she will.
Yes.
We'll both look beautiful, and we'll be behind a backdrop, with Mario Savio's face. We, as conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, carrying on the torch of free speech, because free speech is now a conservative issue.
Well, but then talking about that, let's talk about what's going on at Fox News, okay? Ailes is out, Bill O'Reilly's out, Bill Shine is out, and there seems to be a feeling that maybe Sean Hannity is next. We're not sure if that's the case or not, but your thoughts on what's happened there? I mean, that's a big deal.
So there was a time at which it looked like Fox was going to go centrist because they hated Trump so much. And it was really anti-Trump network for a while,
Yeah.
And that's when the first time that Hannity and O'Reilly
Give me the dateline for that. What was...
Well, during the election.
Okay.
During the election.
Megyn Kelly's question, the first question.
Right.
The first
debate.
And that kicked it all off internally because she's a real operator, she's formidable. And so that kicks it off. And that's the first time that Hannity and O'Reilly looked like they might be in trouble. But then, Trump wins, and they're like, okay, well, I guess he's the face of whatever something, I guess maybe we ought to listen to the public. Nice one, Fox. So they give Tucker Carlson a primetime show, and this is the symbol that the network's just going all in on Trump. And then the hosts start to get a bit friendlier, and you can see on Trump hosts starting to let themselves go and express their real opinions. And there are a lot of pro-Trump people at Fox. So they just had to whatever. So they give Tucker keeps getting better and better slots, and recently now just got the best slot.
Right.
Keeps getting better and better slots.
And a $15 million book deal, by the way.
Right. Well, he keeps. He's wonderful, by the way. It's the best thing on TV.
He is now.
It's the best thing on TV.
But listen,
Really?
Milo, let me
I
just stop you for a second. I agree with you. He's brilliant, and he's when he
You
debates
don't
these
like
people.
Tucker?
I think
He
he's okay.
slices and dices
Bill O'Reilly.
these people. But he's good, but he's not a huge, enthusiastic Trump supporter. Never was, really.
No, I like that he has morals. I like that he's an iconoclast. I like that he's not just totally partisan. I like that he's not a surrogate.
I agree. Yeah.
I think he has principles.
story.
I think he has principles.
He's a good story. 10 years ago, he was really at the end of his career, it looked like, and now he's got this huge slot. But you'd have to admit, Milo, as a guy that is larger than life, that when he goes on at 8 o'clock compared to Bill O'Reilly, it feels small. Look, Bill O'Reilly had the most successful cable news show of all time. I mean, he'd been doing it for Fox for 20, 30 years. Yeah.
I mean, he was the biggest thing literally the biggest thing on TV. It's the biggest scalp the left could possibly have got without getting Trump impeached, Anyone is going to look different in that slot. Anyone's going to look, and it's a completely different flavor. Bill O'Reilly is a juggernaut. It's like a juggernaut that just plows through slowly, but slowly but inexorably just crushes everything in its path.
Right.
Tucker Carlson is like a sniper. He's like nimble and bobs and weaves and ducks around and decapitates his guests and stuff.
Yes.
Whereas Bill O'Reilly is just this giant wall that just destroys everything ahead of it. So they're totally different styles.
Oh,
It's a completely different style. I personally, have to be completely honest, am way more of a fan of the Tucker Carlson style.
Wow.
But I think that's because it's more my style.
Right.
That's what I enjoy. And it's also because I'm 50 years younger than Bill O'Reilly's viewers.
He can grow into the slot as well and become as big as life, as big as Bill O'Reilly. Maybe.
I think Tucker is the best thing on Fox. I think he's absolutely great. And he is appealing to people under 60, which nobody else on that channel is.
Right. Milo Yiannopoulos on the Bernie and Sid show. On the other side, we're going to talk to Milo about Trump and many other things in his personal life. On the Bernie and Sid show. 1-800-848-9222. If you want to talk to Milo, give us a call. We're back after this.
Of Berkeley, who was sort of gleefully egging this stuff on yesterday, who today had to apologize for the usual leftist name-calling of me today.
What did he say about you?
Oh, the usual slurs, this white supremacist speaker. I mean, please. Anyone who's spent 5 seconds in my company or 2 seconds in my bedroom knows I'm not a white supremacist. This usual slurs that they wheel out.
Me, I'd be such a huge fan of me. I'd be my number one fan.
Gotta start there.
Back on the Bernie and Sid show on WABC with Milo Yiannopoulos in studio. Wow. Whenever I hear that, Milo, you hear white nationalist. I mean,
oh my goodness.
We're nationalists for everybody that's here. White, black.
No, I'm not a white supremacist. I'm
Muslim.
a Western supremacist.
That's different.
I'm a Western
That's right.
supremacist.
Yes,
I
values.
think that, democracy, capitalism, freedom, property rights, these are all epic things, and they make this country the best place to live in the world. And if you are, by the way, one of these whining snowflake, crybaby liberal, feminists or Black Lives Matter activists, what you don't realize is that it is freedom, capitalism, property rights, that has made this country a nice place for you to live.
Right, gay rights.
Of course. I mean,
women's rights, of course.
Observe, if you will, countries around the world that do not have freedom, democracy, and how do women and ethnic minorities and gays fare in those countries?
Not very well.
Not so well.
See, the nationalist thing really got stuck with Steve Bannon, a guy that used to work with over at Breitbart, who, by the way, Donald Trump finally came out yesterday and defended, because it sounded like a month ago he was kind of throwing him under the bus, but that word was attached to him almost daily for the last couple of months.
Yeah, well, it's something, we're used to liberals, calling people names when they don't like them and they don't have an argument. And racist has been like this for decades. Sexist has been like this for decades. Well, they've had to ramp it up in the era of Trump, because they've got even fewer arguments because they're even more wrong. But they're even more desperate not to get this guy in the White House or to let people like me succeed or whatever. Right. So it's like, well, where do we go? If you're racist is a terrible, let's just be clear, and this is a serious point. Calling somebody a racist is a really serious thing. It's not just calling them a name. If you call somebody the N-word, that reflects badly on you.
Yep.
But if you call somebody a racist, that's an allegation.
Absolutely right.
You're
100%.
suggesting something about that person.
Sure.
If I go out and I don't do this, well, except in the bedroom when they ask me, and call somebody the N-word, and call, only with permission and only horizontally.
There's only once with Denzel.
Wesley, please. Only with the Demolition Man hair. If I do that, I look like a bad person.
Sure.
Because I am. Because it's a horrible thing to do.
Exactly right.
But if I go and call somebody a racist, I'm suggesting things about their character. I'm suggesting things about their opinions. I am with that word setting out a cluster of allegations that stick to people like a bad smell, like
Forever.
rotting fish.
Exactly.
You can never really get away from it. You can never really escape it. And how difficult is it to do it? It isn't. You just say, you're a racist.
It's so easy, and it's a last refuge of a skunk with no argument.
And there's only one thing worse than calling somebody a racist.
Worse.
And it's white nationalists and white supremacists.
Oh, Nazis. Sure.
Nazis,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, right.
And the good news is...
And you've been called all these things.
Oh, my goodness, of course. Of course. The only thing I have in common with Hitler is an appreciation for nice black outfits. But, no, I mean, I would have joined just for the ensemble.
But listen, Milo, here's what with the nationals thing. They'll say white national. There's nothing really wrong with nationalism. People want French. The French want to be French.
Trump was elected on the basis of nationalism. People are proud of their country.
But what they do is they say white nationalists. Now, that'll be a shock. Come to a shock to all the black Trump supporters, the Indian American Trump supporters. They like America. They want America. They want to be American nationalists.
Come here to join America. They don't come here for.
But when they say white nationalists, it does imply
that's what they do to
racist,
try to make it a pejorative, of course.
What have you not been called so far in your life? Not been called.
Reasonable.
Modest. Milo Yiannopoulos here on the Bernie and Sid Show. We're going to do some news and come back with Milo after Deb. Take it away.
Lee 7, WABC.
I tell jokes that upset the left, about some of their special favored victim groups. But I'm very popular on campus because I talk about free speech and free expression and something that is really under threat on American college campuses, which is the First Amendment.
Back here on the Bernie and Sid Show on WABC, the voice of the fabulous Milo Yiannopoulos, who is in studio with us right now.
Are you roasting me with that? Is that a Wham song? Is that
George Michael?
Is that George Michael? Is that a heckle?
It's a tribute. A tribute. Come on, man.
Isn't he dead?
He is dead. But
aren't you devastated? You seem to be.
I'm not really old enough to be upset about George Michael.
Right. Who's the gay performer today that you would really crush you if he died? Or she died? You.
Oh man, you must do a lot of touching yourself, huh?
I can confirm this.
You know what? You'd be great. Have they reached out? Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, you'd be great with that.
Oh, you know what?
And by the way,
I hadn't ever considered it.
Really?
It's the kind of request that I would never get to hear about because my manager would just dump it in the trash.
Really?
Yes, because he hates me.
That would be a great return to the.
I'm addicted to that, Joe. I'd love to see you out there
dancing with this.
Can you dance? I mean,
But here's the thing about
I'm gay, of course I can dance.
But they don't have two guys dancing. They're homophobic when you think about it.
Oh, so the only the really top rank troll would be to do it, but to be a flagrant Republican, yet be the first gay couple on Dancing with the Stars.
It's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, look, first female Prime Minister of England, Margaret Thatcher, conservative.
Yes.
First ethnic minority MP, conservative.
Yes.
We often get to this stuff first, yeah.
It's funny you say that, too, because the misconception is that they do. And that's not really the truth, is it?
Well, no, because we care about values, not about identity politics. Because when you care about identity politics, like people's skin color, and breed them into victimhood, they're not capable of accomplishing anything. So they don't get to be prime minister. When you care about values and what brings people together, like shared ideals, then you inspire people from places you wouldn't expect to achieve greatness.
Right.
This is why, and I always lose my. I repeatedly lose my conservative credential card. I mean, I lose it every week. But this is why I'm relaxed about the reparations argument, provided the money goes to schools in crappy black neighborhoods, so that every single kid there has a chance of going to Harvard if they're smart enough. And that's a Republican ideal. They don't want that, by the way. They don't want to do that because they want to keep everybody down, keep everybody on welfare.
Fair enough.
But that's a Republican ideal.
Speaking of Republicans ideal. What do you think of Trump's our hero's first 100 days?
I think it's been surprising. Social conservatives should be very happy with things that Trump has done. People, which is, you wouldn't have imagined, that the evangelicals would be the happiest of all. I read something this morning about Congress stiffing him again on the wall and all the rest of it. I think Trump is. I don't think Daddy was completely prepared for the realities of government.
Well, he's admitted that. He said this is a much more difficult job than I thought. Yes.
Yeah, no, he was on. He was on. Did you see him on Face the Nation?
Of course.
He's like, I love your show. I call it Deface the Nation.
You get it wrong half the time yourself.
I love it. The fake news media. We call them a mainstream media. I'm sorry. Sometimes that's you. What a guy. Imagine being roasted on your own show by the President of the United States.
And the guy was
There's no coming back from that. There's no recovery.
He had nothing to say.
There's no recovery. Anyway, I love him. He makes me laugh every day.
He does.
But
so when he at least implies that maybe Andrew Jackson was alive during the Civil War, you laugh and don't go, oh my God, what kind of idiot is that?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. That's fair enough. Fair enough. But funny.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Come on, Andrew Jackson. It wasn't 10 years ago.
He was riffing some satellite radio girl, a woman reporter, female reporter. Apologize for the girl thing.
Excuse me. I am not in any position to criticize people for misspeaking. At this, not any time in 2017.
Right. 2018, you can
but
go that
2018,
right,
I'll be back on it. But
so
2017, I'm like, no, it's fine. Something tumbled out of his mouth he didn't mean. We've all been there. Trust me.
All right, but the devil's advocate, how do you have a Republican Congress? You're the president. You said we're going to build a wall, and there's no money in the first budget for a damn wall. How does that happen?
I think it's disappointing and it's frustrating, and I think the problem here is not Republicans versus Democrats. The problem is that the Republican Party has been split in two, and it's at war with itself, and so it can't get anything done.
Is that for everything, including the fact that we're probably going to get another health care plan shot down this week?
This is the Republican Party that constantly at war with itself, unable to get anything done, because unlike Democrats, they don't all move they don't all fall in line.
Right.
Everybody fell in line for Hillary in the end. Like, Hillary, the most unpopular candidate for president ever, but just look at how Hollywood and the media, everybody fell in line.
Yes.
And to the point of, like, vicious, disgusting things about her opponent and all of his allies and all of his supporters. And now afterwards, they're trying to take revenge on all of us.
Right.
This is like real loyalty, lockstep kind of behavior. Well, the conservatives are traditionally a little more independently minded than that. And as a result, they have more difficulty sticking together when it counts and sort of holding their nose, And a lot of conservatives before the election, you saw, the Ben Shapiro and Bill Kristol, they couldn't hold their nose and get the guy in because they realized that, having 4 Supreme Court picks is more important than whether you like the guy's hair and whether he misspeaks and whether you just find him personally distasteful. The fact is, getting the opportunity to radically reshape the Supreme Court for a generation might just be more important. So, and then you even get conservatives now on the radio saying it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. So, this has happened. This has gone forward into government. And the conservatives, are the same wherever you look. British conservatives have been like this over Europe for generations, like literally now generations. The party cannot get itself together over big questions because conservatives tend to be more independently minded and more mischievous and dissident because they're the now at least the true inheritors of classical liberalism of J.S. Mill. You know, so I think that this is 97%, you know, just the Republican Party at war with itself. And you can see that from the White House itself. You know, you've got the Kushner, Ivanka faction, which is all about, you know, equal pay day and all of these other stupid liberal myths that they buy into. These people are basically Democrats, you know. These people were Democrats. They are Democrats. That versus the, you know, populist nationalist faction, you know, run by Steve Bannon and the people who actually put Trump in the White House, you know, and a reflection of the people who put him there. So, you know, this is just a party at constant war with itself.
Milo Yiannopoulos on the Bernie and Sid show. The fabulous Milo Yiannopoulos. He's got a new venture coming out. He's going to formally announce it on Friday.
Milo Inc. Baby,
Milo
get ready.
is back.
Milo
is back.
Milo Inc.
I'm a corporation.
That's awesome.
Now, listen, speaking of the
That's
Republicans.
my favorite Mariah Carey line in Obsessed. You know, you are mom and pop, I'm a corporation. I should get it on T-shirts now.
You should.
Look, the Democrats themselves, you have the three stooges, Pelosi, Schumer, and Maxine Waters. I mean,
you warned me. I need a trigger warning, you know,
Yeah,
before
I
you
know.
start spitting these names out. It's very early in the morning.
really-
You didn't give me a bucket.
But they're not exact. They don't exactly have their
Picking the
crap
sick out
together
of your
either.
soundboard. No, but you know, they come together when it counts. Here's the thing about lefties. They come together when it counts. And they did it at the election. They always do it. And you see how, you know, like the transgender thing, for instance, mental, crazy, like completely, like it's just as a bizarre thing to make like a national priority. But they just all fall in lockstep regardless of what they really feel about it.
There's no doubt.
Regardless of what they really feel about it.
And we
you know?
kept hearing about that, especially when Paul Ryan was throwing daggers at Donald Trump, and Mitch McConnell was throwing daggers at Donald Trump, and nobody on the left was saying a word.
And
nobody.
I think this is a structural issue with the difference between liberalism and conservatism that may never be fixed. Conservatives can't mobilize and organize themselves. They can't get, you know, like the women's march, you know, with all these millions of people participating everywhere. Now, all of those women believed slightly different things, but they all came together anyway.
Yes.
Because the left is really good. I think there's something
Cheap. Basically.
I mean, I think there's some, you know, I think this is a structural psychological issue with the difference between liberals and conservatives. Conservatives just can't hold their nose for the greater good for some reason, and I don't know why that is, but it seems to be the case, you know, everywhere there is democracy, conservatives just can't fall in line with each other.
Milo Yiannopoulos, you have many fans here in New York City.
Millions.
We've introduced you, by the way, to New York City. They love you.
No, I'm serious. You did. I do this show every time I'm in New York. You are my favorite thing to do in New York, and I'm very grateful to you because you introduced me to the city, so thank you.
I look forward to the afternoon we're going to spend with you. But Susan from Brooklyn, she wants to weigh in. Good morning, Susan. Talk to Milo.
Oh, good morning. I am so glad you came on, Milo.
Oh, well,
in
thank
your own
you.
Words, and Sid and Bernie, you know, I listened to you when I heard you on Bernie and Sid, and I thought you were fantastic.
Well,
and
thank
I heard
you.
this big brouhaha. I really couldn't understand what it was about, but to hear you in your own words, because quite frankly, regardless of sexual orientation, kind of what you said is how it is normal how people have their first escapades, being gay, straight, whatever it is, it's usually with someone older.
Right.
So and that's so innocent. And to make this big brouhaha, I'm so glad that you're, you know, really getting in the mix here and message and getting the tent bigger for the freedom movement. And really, this has been cool because I have kids your age, and you know, I know that they would definitely respond to you. You should get on Tucker Carlson, by the way. I think that would be tremendous.
He's been on.
No, I did it. I love the show, so I'm sure I'll be back on again.
You're
soon.
adoring public, Milo, right?
Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you for being so kind.
Thank you for the call. Yes, they love you out there. We from Brooklyn, no less.
Judy is in Brooklyn, too. She loves him, too. Good morning, Judy.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Milo,
morning.
before I give you compliments.
Yes, you compliment question, okay?
By the way, Milo, you're a very good company because Bernie and Sid are one of the best.
They are.
They are. Listen, I heard, for all of you, I heard that our wonderful President Donald Trump kind of like wanted to say Andrew Johnson historical figure Andrew Johnson, and he made a slip by saying Andrew Jackson.
No, that's not.
That sounds to me like a very charitable interpretation. I have to be completely, and you know, like, look, I have to be honest. I love that man with the power of 10,000 suns. I call him Daddy. There's nothing I don't love about Donald Trump, but once in a while he does just just go off.
And factually, he had been talking about going to Tennessee. He visited Jackson's grave. He's been compared to Jackson, so that is charitable. But
I love it. You have a very bright future in the Republican press office. If you want to go work for Sean Spicer, I think he'd snap you up in a heartbeat, sweetheart.
How about that guy? Is he? What do you think about it? Is he effective or is he counterproductive to Trump and his whole?
I think he's wonderful. He just goes in there and just ritually humiliates the media every day. How could you not love this man? I think he's great.
I think so too. I like him. I think he's a good man. But a lot of people say he's hurting. When you have to start explaining things that he says about Hitler and stuff like that.
The whole thing with Hitler, that wasn't good.
No, come on. He said, look, this is a perfect example of how the media in this country works. Right. I've got to defend him on this, and I wouldn't, because this is a sensitive thing, and I wouldn't just do it like capriciously for the sake of being controversial, for the sake of being provocative.
Or for your love of Trump and his
that's
people.
A lie, I would. But, but I do happen to believe this, and I'll tell you that, look, what happened was, he said something. Everybody knew what he meant. He said even Hitler didn't use chemical weapons on his own people. He meant Hitler didn't bomb his own cities using like napalm or tear gas or whatever. Right. That's what he meant.
He also, he also called concentration camps,
whatever.
Yes.
Everybody knew what he meant.
Right.
The press pretended not to know what he meant, and then made a big deal out of it, and it became a story for 2 days.
But that's the
how the media works in this country.
That's why you got to be slick enough not to give them that kind of ammunition.
Because if you bow to this kind of slimy, disreputable, low-rent debate tactic, you become boring, and you become the kind of politician that was thrown out, and that's why we have Trump in the first place, because politicians are watching their speech so much so the press can't misrepresent. No, the problem is not politicians. The problem is the press. The problem is the media, because they're slimy and disreputable and dishonest. And everybody knew what he meant. Yeah, fine. The phrase Holocaust centers was stupid.
That was kind of rough.
But
I mean, at least he's not like. Look. I have to say, at least he's not like lefties who suddenly discovered a love for the Jewish people, suddenly care about Israel because they saw it as for some reason they managed to manufacture a way to attack Republicans and Trump over just as inventing anti-Semitism. Excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. You are the ones pandering to radical Islam, sucking up to to Muslim terrorists.
Keith Ellison.
All this kind of stuff. Giving money to regimes that want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth.
Right.
And just because you think it might hurt Trump, suddenly you care about Jews.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
By the way,
give me a break.
Same goes for college campuses.
It's so slippery and opportunistic and transparent. I have no time for it whatsoever.
Especially here, the CUNY campuses, which, by the way, I didn't go to work yesterday on the whole May Day thing. They hate the Jews.
They all
hate them.
Look at the Palestine, all this, queers for Palestine nonsense, all the reporting on Palestine, the lies they tell about Israel and the West Bank, Gaza, whatever. Don't tell me you suddenly care about Jews.
Bastards, you. Milo Yiannopoulos on the Bernie and Sid show.
Thank you so much.
Hey, congratulations on your comeback, Milo.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me so much.
We'll talk to you down the line.
Thank
Back
you.
on the Bernie and Sid.